Hi, it's Dre Griggs with Obsidian Wisdom. Today we'll be answering the question, why retirement planning is so important. When it comes to retirement planning, it's always important to start with understanding just what is retirement. I think if we ask different people, we'd get different answers. Some people are going to say retirement is when I stop working. Others are going to say retirement is when they're traveling. Some will say retirement is when I spend time with my family. Like, retirement is different things to each individual. One thing I think we all can agree on is retirement ultimately is your freedom of time. And when you understand that retirement is your freedom of time, then you're not really focused as much on when we retire as much on how we retire. Retirement has two aspects. One is the financial half. The second is the lifestyle half. Retirement is important because we have to understand that it's not that we just have to, work until we're like 65 and then we can just stop. Some people, if they plan properly, they can retire in their 30s and 40s. Other people, if their planning isn't as effective, they may have to keep working into their 80s and 90s. So it isn't necessarily an age. It's going to be a little bit more of just us understanding what retirement is. And for me, retirement, the most important thing to understand about retirement is it's when your money is working for you to generate a continuous income where you don't have to trade your time anymore. And if you never build the ability for your time to be able to be purchased back for you, and that's how I describe freedom, just your ability to purchase your time back, then you never really will be able to retire. Most entrepreneurs and families, they worry about retirement. So we created the Wisdomites framework to help you eradicate financial stress, generate a passive income, and build a prosperous retirement strategy. So as long as we have that base understanding that retirement is not necessarily an age or anything of that nature, it's just really, when can I purchase all of my time? So I no longer have to work to generate any type of an income. All of my income is generated from my money working. So if that is our goal, that's our starting baseline, that's what we both agree upon, then we're able to start building why retirement is important. If you have any additional questions about retirement planning, I invite you to check out my free retirement plan that works video training at obsidianwisdom.com/training. In it, I give you the entire Wisdomites framework that I use with my clients to help them eradicate financial stress, generate a passive income, and build a prosperous retirement strategy. I understand all too well myself as someone who has experienced what it is like to quit a job. I had a lucrative career, $2 billion company where I managed the pricing department, and it was a phenomenal job. The only reason I quit is because I just felt like there was something a little bit more that I needed to do. And I have like that entrepreneur bug, and I was trying to figure things out. And for my family, like my wife and I and the kids, we always focus on the importance of your time, your ability to manage your time, to choose how you want to live. And I had that half of things under control. I didn't quite have the financial half where, okay, well, I get it. It's important to have your ability to choose how you want to live your life, where you can spend how your time looks in retirement. But at the same time, if you don't have any income working for you, you ultimately will have to go back to work. And I experienced that. So I definitely remember when we even packed up the U-Haul at our first house. We had built it from the ground up, and we had, created a whole bunch of memories inside the house. And it was just a really beautiful experience for us. But we had to leave because I had quit my job, and I didn't have the ability to build any sort of an income stream within the time I thought I needed. And so I had a few thousand in like my retirement account, and I drained that. And then I even started working as like a Lyft driver, trying to figure out how to make ends meet. And you really start realizing that if you don't have a plan in place, if you don't have the ability to generate any sort of an income without you working, you have to figure out some way to put bread on the table. And as a result, that was when I really went back to the drawing board, and I tried to figure out what I was missing. Right. And I was a great employee, and I was phenomenal. I did great work, and I was paid handsomely. But when I started my entrepreneurial journey, I started realizing that the money doesn't necessarily come in on the same like weekly or biweekly or monthly schedule that it used to. And so as I started figuring out what is it that I needed to do, and I started understanding what is it that I'm trying to accomplish, what does my life look like? And then I was able to create the Wisdomites framework. And that really falls into three categories. It's going to be the knowledge, it's going to be understanding, and it's going to be wisdom. And so knowledge is our ability to make money. Understanding is our ability to keep money. And wisdom is our ability to multiply our money. And so when I first started, I had the knowledge. I knew how to make the money, but I didn't quite have the understanding. I didn't understand what I needed to do. And I definitely didn't have the wisdom to be able to multiply my money so that I could stay, retired in that sense. Because retirement for many of us isn't just playing golf every day or just sitting on our porch and laying around. Just retirement ultimately means I have the freedom to choose what I want to do each and every day. If I want to work somewhere, I can. And many people do. When they retire, they find different jobs with different passions that they're interested in. Even people I know that go and say, you know what, I'm going to retire. And they're, you're in your 30s. Look, you just saw Tom Brady, right? He's like 44, turning 45, and he was talking about retiring from football. And then I think it was like 40 days later, he decided to unretire, right? Like you think, okay, I'm going to retire. Things are going to be good. I'm going to go like golfing. I'm going to hang out with like my wife and my kids. We're going to travel. We're going to do all this stuff. But you do that for a few months and you're like, okay, what else is there for me? And so he decided to go back to work and what he loved, playing football. And for us, it could be the exact same thing. You just want to make sure you set yourself up that you're in a situation where you don't have to use your skills where you're getting paid significantly less than what you're worth, or you have to give significantly more of your time to make a certain amount of income. And you didn't want to give that much of your time. You wanted to be able to, work in the sense that maybe you wanted the insurance, or maybe you wanted the networking and the just kind of having the camaraderie and the friendships, but you never really wanted to work with the stress and the demands of certain professions. And so you have to set yourself up with that type of a fund where you do have the option to say, okay, I enjoy working, so I can go work when I'm ready, but I can choose to work at something that's fulfilling and rewarding and puts a smile on my face. And I'm not working because I need to pay my bills. Because when you have to pay your bills, then there's going to be lots of things that maybe you end up having to do that you really didn't want to do, right? And so, understanding that, I was able to start putting my money to work, and then I was able to actually retire in the sense that I was able to start working in things that I wanted to work on, passions that were important to me, where I no longer had to sacrifice and live like an austerity because I didn't have any money coming in, and I wasn't in a position where I wanted to work that full 9 to 5 and have to give up on my dreams. For you, you have to have that same balance. You want to have a plan. Retirement is super important because retirement is going to be you purchasing your freedom. And then whatever you do from there is your choice. That's the beauty of it. And we all choose differently what to do with our time, but you ultimately want to be able to choose it, not have someone else choose it for you. Until next time, Wisdomites, remember, wisdom is asking the right questions to allow yourself to get the right answers. Keep asking those questions and you will keep getting those answers. Continue blessings.